waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I consider impossible is losing. I've been waiting on the sidelines for a long time. Now I'm finally getting in the game. It's about time. 'Cause this is my time. This is my time. The only thing I
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We got so much to get into today, but before we get started, we want you to know that this stream is being powered by BetUS. You have an opportunity to receive a 125% bonus. The link is in the description of the video. This bonus is up to $2,500, and it's no longer for your first deposit. It is for your first 3 deposits. You get to take advantage of that opportunity. Remember, BetUS has 24/7 customer service if you need any assistance. Also, 24-hour fast and easy payouts. Take advantage of it. But I want to show you something on BetUS that got me a little bit concerned as a Dolphin fan. It has me concerned as a Dolphin fan. Here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The AFC East division race is getting tighter, and it's not a good look, okay? Now, I do like that Buffalo is getting a little bit worse at plus 140, okay? But here's the issue. The Dolphins previously had like a plus 80 advantage over the Jets. The Jets are closing that gap. They are closing that gap. Plus 225 for the Jets, and the Dolphins are now plus 200. That close. Now it's like a 25-point gap from a plus standpoint. And listen, I still think that this is the year for the Dolphins to do it all. So plus 200 is still some good money to be made. You bet $100, you win an additional 200 on top of your 100. That's a nice look. But the Jets are creeping in. Last I remember, they were plus 280. And now their odds are getting a little bit more favorable to actually happen because of the moves that they're making. We're going to talk about the moves that they're making and more this morning. Make sure that you punch that like button, and make sure if you believe the Dolphins are going to take care of business, then make sure you get on that plus 200. I know we got Jets fans that watch the show. If you're that confident in your team, look at the New York Jets, take that plus 225 and go ahead and watch, that cash go down the drain, because the Dolphins going to win it all. All right. It's that simple. All right. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Supporting our sponsor is supporting the channel. Let's get into it. We got a lot to talk about. You see the title, breaking the latest Miami Dolphins news. We're going to talk a little bit of Raheem Mostert. We're going to talk a Trey White story from this weekend that I want to tell you guys about. Okay, that's going to be very interesting. You're going to want to hear that. And in the Jets and more. Now, when we say and more, y'all know how I like to do the shows now. I want to hear from you. The subscriber, you, the viewer, you, the supporter. Thank you all for the love and support. I want to hear from you and ask you, what questions do you have that you would like to get my opinion or my answer on? And this morning, I'm going to take 10 of them. And hopefully either in this stream or throughout the day, I can answer these questions for you. So we're going to take 3 minutes right now before I dive in and tell you and go over Mostert, Trey White, and the Jets. And then I'm going to handle these, but put it in the chat right now. If you have a question, put it in the chat right now. Daniel Diaz said, I'm a Jets fan, but I love your show. I appreciate that, Daniel. We're going to talk about your team a little bit this morning. I think it's only right. All right. Put it in the chat right now what questions you have. If you're over on Twitter, come over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel so you can check the show out, okay? Because I can't get the chat or the comments from Twitter, All right. So come over to YouTube and go ahead and put your comments in the chat. So right now, put your questions in the chat if you have any. All right. This is your opportunity right now so I can answer your question. I know I'm always hitting the super chats because those people invest in the channel. I want to show them some love, for helping to invest in the channel. But these are those opportunities where even if you don't send a super chat, I want to be able to handle your questions. Okay. All right, here we go. They're coming in now. How much longer do we suffer with Tua? All right. I'll answer that. Do we suffer with Tua? All right. Why didn't Dolphins go get Reddick? Why not go get Reddick? All right. Are we really a Super Bowl contender? Are we really SB contenders? All right. Why are all the other big time QBs have not won a Super Bowl as of yet? Why haven't all the other big time QBs won SB yet? All right, that's a great question. All right. Will Jonnu Smith be the third wide receiver? Jonnu Smith, WR3 question mark. Are we going to go out and get someone to be the third receiver? Or are we investing in WR3? All right. Great question. Got it. All right. Let me see here. Appreciate you, the Big Bear. 2922. What is the most likely aspect the Dolphins will fail? Most likely aspect Dolphins fail in this year. All right, I'll take 4 more. Will Miami actually have a good draft this year? Miami, good draft this year. Okay. Girl always seems to make me, all right, it's not a question. What's the one positive thing you see happening this season? One positive thing I see happening this season. Okay. Drafting backup QB. All right, one more. All right, what's the cap space looking like? All right, we'll stop there. What's the cap looking like? All right. All right, we'll stop there. If you have more questions, just stay tuned to the channel. Once I handle these, I'll probably ask you all, what do you want to know again? Okay. Oh. All right. So I hope everybody enjoyed their weekend and had a happy Easter. I hope you all enjoyed time with your family. And for those who exercise their faith, happy for you. Let's get into Miami Dolphins football now. Back to business. There's a lot to talk about. So first and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start out by the Raheem Mostert contract extension. I told y'all this was going to happen. I told y'all. I don't know if y'all remember. If you've been on this show long enough, let me know in the chat if you remember that I told you guys Raheem Mostert has one deal left on his contract, and his agent would be a fool if he didn't renegotiate the contract and extend him and give him more money. I said, that's another guy we're going to have to pay. And some people said, oh, he's almost 30-something, bro. We're not going to be giving him more money. I said, okay, even if we don't give him more money, then we're going to lose him because we would be fools. His agent would be a fool if he didn't go in that office and say, hey, give my client more money. He made the Pro Bowl, 21 touchdowns, all these yards. Come on, man. He had one of the best years as a runner. Give him some more cash. We're not trying to get no 3-4 year deal like we got, the premier back of all time, but give him some more money. And that's exactly what the Dolphins did. And this was a low key, they ain't no holdout or nothing. His agent Ben went in there. Hey, you got to work this deal out or we're going to request a trade. And Greer went in the lab and said he is worth a lot more. Let's do right by him. But it's a fair deal. I thought it was a beautiful deal. 2 years, like almost $9 million or something like that. That's a beautiful deal for a running back that produced what he did. So I love the deal. Raheem Mostert still playing. He played very well for us in this system. I think that the Dolphins got a nice little complimentary steal with this deal, still having a running back that you can trust, one who knows the system and who can produce, if, all defenses don't load the box, So I was talking to, my brother-in-law about this just yesterday, we were talking about, Baltimore, Buffalo, Chiefs, why is it that the offense struggles so bad? And we were saying, you would love for us to stick with the run a little bit more, but here's one of the big issues. In a lot of those games in the second half, teams came, like we ran the ball well in a lot of those games in the first half. And those teams came out and said, we're not going to let y'all run the ball anymore. We're going to force your quarterback and your receivers to win the game. And for some reason, they kind of like let up on the back end, but we still couldn't execute. They shut down the run. We had to go to passing. And then our passing game, for some reason, flaked out against those teams. And a lot of people are like, we should have ran more. We should have ran more. And when you look at the film, McDaniel tried to run the ball in every single one of those games. Like literally, we should have ran more, but on first down, it was -2. And then everybody expect the coach to always run again on 2nd and 12. So McDaniel was put in some tough situations where a lot of typical fans say we should have ran more, but he made an effort. It's just that the other team made efforts to really, really, really shut it down. Really shut it down. So, and then when we went to the pass heavy, they're like, oh, now we're pass heavy. We're not dynamic. That's not what really happened. And a lot of it also was, a lot of people want to say injuries, but injuries really didn't derail our offense like that. It really didn't derail our offense like that. So, yeah, that's something, we're going to have to figure out this year. Okay. But all in all, great deal for Raheem Mostert. He's still playing at a high level, and this is a cheap deal, y'all. This is nothing. This is nothing. This is a cheap deal. You kind of like double this money and said, hey, man, we appreciate what you did last year. Let's keep it going. So if you're a Dolphin fan, you brought back, your top running back, and you got a young one for the future that's right there with them. So good luck for us. Good luck for us. So this is a move everybody should be happy about and should be positive about. Just don't see where you can find negative in this one. I just don't see it. I'm sure some people can, but I don't see it. Okay. All right. I want to move forward to Trey White. Everybody know who Trey White is, right? Does everybody know who Trey White is? I mean, I know y'all do, but just want to make sure in the chat. All right. Also, let me post it up real quick. Give me a second. Dang. I'm tripping. What did I do with the picture? I guess I'll post it later. I have to get it back again. Let me see something. Well, hold on. Maybe I'll find it. Okay. Let me go here. All right, I'll post it up once it's resent to me. All right. So anyway, a lot of y'all know who Trey White is. Stop playing. Let's see here. Bills fans know him well. Yeah. So one of the Bills' lifelong top players on the defensive side of the ball. Okay. Somebody who, terrorized us for the last several years for quite some time. Okay. Buffalo Bills cornerback, for those who don't know. Um, and okay, long story short. So he's now with the Rams, right? Trey White is now with the Rams. All right, my bad. It's getting sent to me now. And crazy story. This weekend, my brother-in-law was at Disney World, right? And Trey White was there at Disney. And my brother-in-law recognized him. And he was like, "Hey man, what's up, man? What team you signing with?" Of course, he said the Rams and all that good stuff. Um, but my brother-in-law, he went ahead and asked him some questions. He said, "I shouldn't even be talking to you, man. You was the enemy for like 7 years or whatever." And he was like, "Who you with, the Patriots?" He was like, No Patriots, it's the Dolphins." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And basically, he hit me up right away. And I text him, I said, ask him what's his thoughts on the Dolphins in the offense. What was it where they just obliterated us every year? Like for the last several years, they just like demolished us. What was it? And he said in his exact words, okay. And my brother-in-law gonna send me the picture in a little bit. His exact words about the Miami Dolphins, he was like, "Oh, we know that offense that y'all run now like the back of our hand. We know it in and out. We know that offense like the back of our hand. It's nothing." And when he told me this, it got me to thinking, this is the concern. There's something about Buffalo, Baltimore, the Chiefs, those handful of good teams that know our offense in and out when it's a new offense. At least for us, it's new. But his exact words, "Oh, I know that offense like the back of my hand. In and out. It's nothing." And I wish I could have asked even more questions, but that was very concerning just to hear yet another player, because we heard Patrick Queen with Baltimore on an interview with PFT say, "Oh, they have tails," but I'm not going to tell you what we basically know about it, just in case we have to play them again. I'm not going to tell you the tails because they know the tails, but the team that's doing them may not know that they know the tails, or we may not even know what we're giving away that tells them. But I will say this, it is obvious that these teams have something on us, because it's night and day, y'all. It's night and day. When we play these scrub teams versus we play these top contenders, the offense is like so non-existent. Like they're getting demolished on every drive. And for this man to literally say, "Oh, I know that offense like the back of my hand," it's nothing. To actually hear that is just it's a major issue for us. Major issue. And I look at it as, what is Mike McDaniel going to do this year to become multiple or change it up or whatever it may be? Can he do anything? What's in the works for us? Like, are we going to bring in a whole new offense? What type of style? What is it? What are we going to do? All right, I got the pick now. Trey White at Disney. I don't know if I can import it in. Data downloads. All right, let me see. Downloads. It's not a video, so right. Hey, give me a second. Downloads. My bad, y'all. Thanks for your patience, by the way. All right. All right, here we go. Let me get this one off the screen. So this was my brother-in-law and Trey White at Disney right here. This is he always lying about always. That's all they do. But anyway, but that's them at Disney World this weekend, man. And these were his exact words. No sound. There we go. Yeah, I'm here. I'm good on the Ron. But yeah, that's them at Disney. So I look at it like this, man. Mike McDaniel's gonna have to change up this offense. He's gonna have to change up this offense. That's why, let me say this too. There's this narrative flying out here. Why y'all want another quarterback? Nobody can run this offense better than Tua. What are you talking about? This is the only quarterback to ever run the offense. So obviously nobody can run it better until you put somebody else in it. Nobody else. This ain't the San Francisco version of the offense. That's another thing that a lot of people don't realize. This is not the San Francisco version of the offense. Oh, San Francisco runs this offense. They run a West Coast, which we have our West Coast wrinkles in what we're doing. But this is specifically built for Tua's strengths. But stop calling this Mike McDaniel's offense. Ladies and gentlemen, stop calling this Mike McDaniel's offense. This is Tua's offense. Stop limiting Mike McDaniel like he ain't got a whole arsenal of plays and things that we could do. But he can't do it with Tua. Stop with this narrative that Mike McDaniel's offense. Mike McDaniel can do so much more, but he don't want to go outside of what Tua does well. He doesn't want to go outside of what Tua does well. The man told you from the beginning, I took these 700 plays. This is what we're going to do, and we're going to do them better. These are his strengths. This is what we're going to focus on. That's what we're going to do right there. But the man could do so much more. He got a playbook that could take advantage of outside the numbers. He got a playbook who could really stretch the field down the field. Not just these few pops tossing it up early, hoping that the receiver can beat his guys and get to the ball. His offense can be so much more intricate and so many more things, but people keep lumping, oh, this is a difficult offense. This is the elementary version of what it could be. So that's the reality. But he going to have to do something this year. He going to have to change something up. And it can't be little wrinkle change. See, here's the thing that scares me. After year one, remember at the end of the season, these teams knew what we were doing. Remember the Chargers, San Francisco, Buffalo, Green Bay, so forth and so on. For the rest of the season, they knew exactly what we wanted to do. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, when Skylar Thompson came in to play those games, Skylar Thompson did not run this same system. He was running different. He ran a little bit of it, but they kind of opened up the playbook more. Don't forget that. Don't forget the concepts of what we were doing when Skylar Thompson was under quarterback was a little bit different. It was a little bit different. The same Skylar Thompson in the first round that went toe-to-toe with Buffalo. Same one. Who had an opportunity at the end of the game. He came up short, but had an opportunity to go there. but it was a different version of the offense. And what scares me the most is when we came into the season we just had, I said, I hope McDaniel changes the offense. But I'm scared he won't, and here's why. The year before, he got like 8 games of great success and like 5 games of just terrible trash. But that 8 games overshadows the 5. That's like an 8-5. I'll take that. And I was fearful he gonna come in with that same motion and all that. And guess what? Last year he came right back with the motion in the same system. But I want you to notice something. As we got later and later in the season, nobody's really noticing we didn't do as much motion. We didn't do as much wheel route, seam, and flat. We didn't do as much. We did it a little, but he kind of cut back later in the season last year. Now, some people are like, maybe that's why the offense started failing. No, we were already on a trajectory of that getting shut down. So then when you had tough competition at the end of the season, McDaniel already knew those teams were going to shut it down. So he kind of went away from it a little bit. And here you are in games doing a little bit of other stuff, but it ain't working. Then every time you go back to that, you may get 1 or 2 nice plays, but then when you keep doing it, you get a pick. Or they go back and it's right back to shutting it down. So I was very fearful that he was going to come back with the same thing this year. And sure enough, he kind of did with a few more changes. So this is the 3rd year right here. Are we going to switch this thing up, bro? Are we going to switch this thing up? We got to take that whole next level, that whole next step. Because when you got players like Patrick Queen doing interviews saying, oh, they have tails, like it's nothing. And my brother-in-law said Trey White didn't even hesitate when I asked him about the team. He said, oh, I know them like the back of my hand. I know that offense like the back of my hand, and easy. And we could see him be like, oh, he just hating because Waddle smoked him or whatever y'all love doing, to discredit any other player that talk bad about our team. But ain't no denying what Buffalo does to us almost every single time. There ain't no denying. There ain't no denying what Baltimore did to us. And Patrick Queen, them saying, oh, they have tails. That's a major issue. That's a major issue. Okay. Lastly, the Jets. The Jets. We're Dolphin fans. We hate the Jets. We don't wish them goodness about nothing. Even if they do some good, we downplay it. And yeah, I'm a downplay it when I'm like on the AFC's round table. Yeah, I'm a downplay it. But ladies and gentlemen, the Jets have a better roster than the Miami Dolphins right now. The New York Jets have a better roster than the Miami Dolphins. And we're going to go into the draft filling holes, and they're going to go into the draft getting luxury. They're going to get another receiver. They're going to go in the draft. They're going to get bless me. They're going to go in the draft. They're going to get a receiver, and then they're going to get, few safeties and stuff like that. You get mad at me for saying this all you want. But the one thing that I prided myself with on this channel, thank y'all for the bless yous. The one thing I prided myself with on this channel is not just evaluating the Dolphins on the surface, but looking at what the competition is doing as well to have a realistic expectation of how far or how good we can really be. You think it was a coincidence that BetUS made them plus 225 and we're at plus 200? They closed that gap like that. They closed that gap like that. You think that's a coincidence? They got a better roster, and the only reason we're above them is because of how we ended last year. They closed that gap like that. You think that's a coincidence when the money is showing? Now, we all believe the Jets are going to jet at the end of the day and screw it all up. But I'm sorry. They got a better roster. Their defense, like literally, they got like 8 players on defense that you don't even question. Their offense with Aaron Rodgers, they loaded that O-line. They already got Breece Hall in the running back position, and they're probably going to continue to invest in that position. They got Aaron Rodgers. What form will he come back to? They got two nice receivers. They could be better in that area, but if they get that one more, especially if it's a top draft pick, you could consider them loaded. You can consider them loaded. It's just the reality. And they're trying to sell us on, well, collectively, I'm so shocked at what the Dolphins did in free agent because, it doesn't replace what we had, but collectively it's better. Stop all that crap, man. Stop that stop. Stop it. Stop it. Whole bunch of players fresh off of some major injuries or on the back end of their career, and you're hoping to get the best. You're hoping to get prime out of them. You're hoping you can get prime out of Poyer when his last year with his previous team, he looked like a shell of himself. Let's call it what it is. Well, he's still solid. Yeah, but you're getting the non-prime version. Hopefully, coming from what we had, it can be either the same or a little better. I get that, but collectively, we're not a better roster. Well, nobody said it was a better roster, but it is a better team. Okay, I could see that, that being a potential. But let's see it happen first. We still don't even know what type of defense we're going to run with Weaver. But this is where we are. This is where we are with it. Y'all hit that like button for your boy. We got 500 people watching, 300 on YouTube. Well, 315 on YouTube, by 175 on Twitter. And my long Twitch viewer, salute to you. And hit that like button, please. Punch that like button, y'all. We should definitely have over 100. Y'all know how we roll. Those likes up. Let's get those likes up. But yeah, so I know Dolphin fans are going to dismiss everything the Jets have done. But here's the reality. As we fight to get as good as we were last year, or if we want to go with the collectively gotten better version, we still got to recognize what the Bengals did, locking down those two legitimate tackles and locking down a little bit better defense. You got to look at what the Browns have done. You got to look at how Houston already were playing so good, and they one of the most loaded teams in free agency, spending all that money, getting all those good players, and they already did what they did, and they piling on top of that. You got to look at what all these teams are doing. The Jets, obviously. And to be honest with you, Buffalo's going to take a step back. Miami, you hope we don't take a step back, but we might take a step back. You just hope that if it's a step back, maybe it's one less win in this wild card. Let me tell you something about this year. We don't know what the schedule's going to hold because we don't know how these teams are. But if we were to evaluate it like from the year before, we got a whole bunch of middle of the road teams. Last year, the problem with last year, we didn't really have any middle of the road teams. They were either good or bad. They were either good or bad. We didn't have to deal with all of those middle of the road teams from last year, like the Jags, the Texans, the Colts, the Buccaneers, all of the Green Bays, the Vikings, all those middle of the road teams we didn't have to play. This year, our schedule is loaded with middle of the road teams. And I feel like that can lead to a roller coaster up and down season. Up and down roller coaster season. The schedule, the opponents are out, Ronnie, but the schedule comes out like in the middle or the end of May. So I can't wait to see that too. Now, you never know. We're going to be like looking at the schedule. Here's a prediction. This team ain't good. That team ain't. We never know until next season. You don't know. You don't know what teams are good. One thing I will say, out of 17 games last year, regular season games, I predicted 14 correct. I predicted 14 of the 17 Dolphins games correct last year. Well, 15 out of 18 if you want to add the playoffs. The playoffs, the Chiefs, I knew we were going to lose, but I told myself, you know what? I'm going to be the most positive Dolphin fan. And y'all remember I was telling y'all, I think we could really beat the Chiefs. I think we are. I was trying to be positive because everybody kept on ragging on me. You talk about you negative all the time. I said, you know what? We're in the playoffs, and this is where your real fandom has to come out. Even though I don't believe we're going to win, I gave the message that I think we can win. Now, I did think there was a possibility, actually, like deep down. I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I did believe there was a possibility. I thought we actually should have won the game. I knew we wouldn't, but based off of the Chiefs, I felt like if our offense can be half of their good version, we could win that game. We could win that game. But they weren't even half of their good version. Just bad. And Glenn said, but at the beginning of the season, we had the second hardest schedule. Yeah, Glenn, but you don't know until the season start. You don't know until the season start. But remember, they thought Russell Wilson then would win 11, 12 games. Look at what happened in that situation. That played into us having one of the hardest schedules. You know? Excuse me. They thought the Giants were going to be a lot more competitive. See how that turned out. They thought the Chargers were going to be even better. A lot of those casual teams were actually really bad. And we played them. And we beat up on them and demolished them. They thought the Jets. Look at all the teams that they thought were that should have been good. Denver should have been good. We all thought, Russell Wilson and blah, blah, blah. We thought we got an easy road. Giants gave Daniel Jones the cash, and they supposed to be playoff bound again. We had the easy road. Chargers still had a shootout, but look, that defense was the worst in the NFL. Worst in the NFL. The Jets twice. Aaron Rodgers, oh man, it's going to be tough in the AFC East. Thank you for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, not thank you for him getting hurt, but he got hurt. That was a benefit for us. We were one of the most fortunate teams last year. Look at I just named 5 easy wins for us because the teams, well, for whatever reason, were just trash. And not to mention, you had the worst team, the Panthers, the worst team in the league. That's 6 wins right there. That's 6 right there. We don't have many of those teams, at least right now on paper, on our schedule. We don't have many of those on our schedule this year. The Tennessee Titans, we got that whole division, the AFC South. The Tennessee Titans, the weakest team in the division, they beat us last year, so you can't sleep on them, and they've gotten a lot better on offense and defense. They made some moves, right? The Colts, a healthy Anthony Richardson. He was balling before we went out, technically. We don't know what to expect. Houston, don't even need to mention it. Jags got derailed by late injuries with their quarterback in particular. Yeah, we should beat a lot of those teams, but we lost. Come on. Those are going to be tough games for us. Straight up tough game. Then you got to go on the other side with the Seahawks. The epitome right now of middle of the road, might even be one of the better teams in the NFC. You got to deal with who is it? San Francisco this year. We know how that goes. You got to deal with who else? Arizona, I ain't worried about, but they gonna. We hope they don't Tennessee us this year. And there's one more team over there. I ain't think about. There's one more team, right? Seahawks, San Francisco, the Rams. The Rams. You ain't gonna walk past that. You're not gonna walk past that. And then you look, I think, if I'm not mistaken, don't we have to also deal with this shit? No, maybe that ain't this year. Who do we got to deal with this year outside? I know the Raiders. I never have fear of them other than Tua's first 2 years. That was different. But we got the Raiders. Green Bay on our schedule. Another one. Green Bay Raiders, and there's one more team. It's one more team that I ain't thinking about right now. One team that I haven't mentioned yet in the entire NFL. Y'all help me out because I'm going to be mad if I don't remember this team. Cleveland. We play the Browns this year? No, we don't play the Browns, right? We don't play the Browns this year, do we? I hope not. I don't think we play them this year. Yeah, I don't think we play the Browns. That wouldn't be good. Let me see. Y'all let me know who the last team in the chat. Yes, we do. Yeah, y'all do. Wow, we actually do. I thought we, man. It's going to be an interesting year. It's going to be an interesting year. It's going to be a very interesting year this year. Let's keep it a buck. Josh Allen should be 12-0 against the Dolphins. The 2 losses was because of Josh Allen mistakes. That is what's your thoughts, CD? They own us. If we don't change it this year, listen, man. I say this a lot on this stream, but I always tell Dolphin fans all around the world the same thing. Yeah, go ahead. Close the door. And again, you can't come in here without your without being fully dressed, okay? All right. So it's just waking up. We got in like 3-4 in the morning last night. The Buffalo Bills own us. I don't care what nobody say. They own us. At the end of the day, man, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. We're all gonna deal with it. I'm gonna tell y'all now. The worst thing that could happen, and the sad thing is, there's an actual likelihood it could happen, is we get that big Tua contract extension. The Jets do better than us. Buffalo still dominates us. We miss the wild card, and Tua's playing an average or above average at best. That's a high likelihood. We can't sit here every year and hope on other teams to be injured and, the Jets to miss their quarterback again. And then other teams have, like, people always talk about our injuries. You want to talk about our injuries, but not think about all the fortune we had all year when we were beating up on everybody. Thank you, Denver, for being trash at the beginning of the season. Thank you, Chargers, for having the worst defense in the NFL. Thank you, Jets, for, not having a quarterback all season. 2 games, 2 easy wins for us. Thank you, Panthers, for being the weakest team in the league. Thank you, Giants, for just being the Giants. Like, what are we even going to be talking about if that happens next year? You gave your quarterback the big deal, right? And then all of a sudden, all you're doing in all season is just trying to re-sign guys like Waddle, Jalen Phillips, and the next Holland. What in the heck are you gonna? What is there to talk about if something like that happened? You just missed the playoffs with 9 wins or 8 wins, or just say 9. You just missed the playoffs. You still can't beat the great team. It doesn't even matter if you can beat the great teams. You missed the playoffs, so however it happened was a disgrace. However it happened. And now you're locked into a quarterback who played average at best. What is there to talk about? We can't say, oh, we need a new quarterback. Nah, you're stuck. It is what it is. What do you talk about? You talk about the fact that you are right back at square one, the same square you have been the last 20 years of the Dolphins, fluctuating up and down. 7, 8, 9 wins, 7, 8, 9 wins, 10, 7, 8, 9 wins. You're right back. Because there is no just making the roster that much better and upgrading. Now they'll do things like move on from Tyreek, no more Armstead, and then they'll bring the big name defensive tackle in like we did with Ndamukong Suh. Oh, we got the best in the league and we paid him $30 million. Oh, stop. Stop. Just bad situation. Anyway, here's what's going to happen today. Because I got my parents coming in today as well, okay? Here's the agenda for today. We got 600 people watching right now. I have your 10 questions. Those questions are, how much longer do we suffer with Tua? Why not go get Reddick instead of the Jets? Are we really Super Bowl contenders? Why haven't all the other big-time quarterbacks won a Super Bowl yet? Jonnu Smith, what is he going to be wide receiver 3, or are we investing in a wide receiver 3? What's the most likely aspect Dolphins fail in this year? Miami, will they have a good draft this year? One positive, thing I see happening this season, drafting a backup quarterback, my thoughts, and what's the cap looking like? I'm going to handle those throughout the day, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned to TD Fans Talk because I'm going to be pumping out a lot of content to you guys. My parents will be coming into town in a few hours, so I'll be in between. Now at 11 a.m., I have a stream over on BR, so y'all come check me out. We're going to be doing mock draft, some of the draft prospects. Okay. And then y'all know at 3 p.m. we have the huddle. Okay. Y'all come to the huddle today. I know we're rivals. I know we like talking trash, but he's my brother and we're family. Okay. I really feel that way. One of the dopest guys I've ever met in my life. Y'all come wish Richie a happy birthday today on the huddle. Okay. 3 p.m. We will be live on the huddle from 3 to 4. Y'all come through. Show my brother some love. We're going to show him some love on the huddle today and give him some happy birthday love. So we want to feel the chat. We want to feel the room and get it done. All right. So again, 3 p.m., BetUS TV, the huddle, ladies and gentlemen. Come through. Show your love and support. All right. Richie's birthday is today on April Fools. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Fins up no matter what. I'm going to get ready for the BR stream at 11 p.m. So y'all come check me out on that. And between then and 3 p.m. in the huddle, I'll probably go live again anyway because I want to handle these questions for you guys. All right. Love y'all. See you soon. Bless y'all. Peace. I'm out.